Some of you know my story, how I lost 45 kgs and changed my life completely. But what if I told you that the real struggle began after losing the weight? Because losing weight is one battle, but maintaining it, that is where most people break down. That is where fear, guilt, and frustration creep in. And honestly, I have faced each one of these. So, hello everyone. My name is Himanshi. I am a psychologist and a certified life coach. And for those of you who are new here, my very first video, my full weight loss journey, is linked in the description. Watch it if you haven't so that we both are on the same page. Today, I want to share about maintaining weight, the psychology behind why people gain it back, and the shift that saved me, and the lessons that will free you forever from the cycle of yo-yo dieting. So let me start by sharing my journey as to what used to happen when I was in my maintenance phase. So in the beginning of maintenance, I thought to myself that, great, I'm done. I've reached my target weight and, my work is done. It's over. But soon I realized that it wasn't. I wanted to eat normally like everyone else, explore, indulge, and just live freely without any guilt. But somehow, again, that guilt used to creep in. I went overboard sometimes, then I used to feel disgusted, I used to weigh myself again in the morning, and then I used to feel very panicky. And the cycle of obsessing with the scale began all over again. I judged myself by the number on the scale. I started to cancel outings. I avoided meeting my friends, my relatives, and I was mentally exhausted, as if weight was the only thing that mattered in life. There was nothing else to be taken care of. And this is exactly where most people fall into trap. Because after losing weight, if your identity does not change, your old habits and mindset pull you back, right? That is why so many people not only regain weight, they often gain even more. Because deep inside, their identity is still the same. They never became the new person. They never embodied that new identity. Physically, they've lost the weight, but emotionally, they were same. They were telling the same stories. They were stuck in the same position somehow. And no diet, no workout plan can save you if your mind is still living in the old story. So in my very first video, and even in the second video, which was specifically about identity shifting, there are so many people who ask me as to how is identity connected to weight loss? What has it to do with weight loss and maintenance? So listen carefully. This is the most important part of this video. Don't miss it out. You don't maintain weight by willpower. You don't maintain it by fear of the scale. You don't maintain it by punishing yourself with workouts. You only maintain it by becoming someone new internally. If you still see yourself as that overweight person, that lazy person in your mind who is fighting food, fearing calories, tracking calories, and obsessing about the scale, your mind will drag you back there. Because your subconscious always pulls you back to what feels familiar and safe. Identity is stronger than habits, stronger than motivation, stronger than rules. If your identity shifts to I am healthy, I am confident, disciplined, I am a free person, then eating mindfully, moving daily, and living healthy becomes your new normal. It becomes your natural. You don't force it. You don't fight for it. It just flows. That is why identity shift is the only way to break free from this endless cycle. Now, having explained about identity shift, there are some other lessons which I have learned through my journey, and I would love to share all those lessons with you. So please bear with me and have some patience. So first, weight fluctuations are normal. Maintenance does not mean that the number would never budge or the number would never change on the scale. A little gain is natural when your body is adjusting to a new routine, right? So stop panicking. Stop being anxious about what the scale is telling you. Your body is not betraying you, right? It's not working against you. It's just balancing itself. So give it the time it deserves to adjust. Second, maintenance is a lifestyle. It's not a free pass that you've availed for yourself. It's not about eating anything and everything, and it's also not about being very perfect about eating, like just eating clean every time or being conscious about what you're eating. It's about choosing better most of the times. The food you eat daily is shaping your identity. It's also impacting your mindset. It's about the way you are looking at yourself. It's about your self-image, right? Every bite says, this is who I am becoming. Third, move with gratitude and not punishment. When you move, remind yourself, I get to move my body. I'm so privileged. I've got this choice to move my body. Movement has to be associated with freedom and choice. It's about being grateful. It's about feeling privilege that, I am in a position wherein I can move my body, right? There are so many people who have different health ailments, physical disabilities, and they're unable to move their body. But we have that choice. So we have to associate it with freedom, right? That gratitude will help you be consistent in your life, not only in this area, but in every other area of your life. Fourth, mindful eating over hyper control. Now, what do I mean when I say mindful eating over hyper control? Stop micromanaging your calories. Instead, just slow down and reconnect with yourself. Ask yourself this one question: am I truly hungry, or am I soothing an emotion? Food loses its control over you when you learn this difference between physical hunger and emotional hunger, right? Whether it's a physical need of you to feed yourself, or it's just about suppressing some emotion. So be careful of this. Fifth, portion control is freedom and not restriction. Small, conscious portions let you enjoy everything without guilt. It's not about cutting things out. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about cutting the excess. Excess is what we are talking about. Freedom comes in balance. Sixth, identity shift is everything. I've discussed it earlier, but let me anchor it again for yourself. Ask yourself, who am I being? Who am I now? If you still call yourself a struggler, a person who is lazy, a person who is not disciplined, you will keep struggling. You will be inconsistent. The moment you embody a new self-image, someone who is naturally fit, healthy, and confident, the mental battle ends there and then. Your identity will protect your results than any diet plan ever could. Seventh, build an emotional coping system. Most people regain weight because they still use food to numb stress, boredom, loneliness, anxiety. We have to build healthier coping tools. For example, journaling, it could be talking to some friends, it could be meditating, it could be going out for a walk, it could be anything. But it has to be alternative coping mechanisms, right? We don't have to rely on food. We have to understand that once we have a list of alternative coping mechanisms, we would not look at food as the only escape. 8. Stay accountable and connected. Share your journey, join certain communities, surround yourself with people who have the same mindset towards food, who have a healthy relationship with food, who are not obsessed about the number on the scale or are continuously counting calories. They are the people who are lifting you up. You might also look for a coach who would hold you accountable throughout this journey. Because when you hide, when you don't seek help, old patterns are still there. You are stuck with those patterns and you feel that, I'm not moving towards any direction. I'm just so stuck. So you have to understand that old patterns need to be talked out. They need to be worked through. So accountability is one thing which would help you stay anchored during this journey. 9th, it's all about iteration and flexibility. Maintenance is not a straight line. You will have days when you overeat. You will have days when you just don't want to work out. You can skip workouts. Or you'll just feel like you've messed things up completely. But here is the truth. Progress is about iteration and not perfection. Instead of saying, I failed, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What is it that I need to work through? What small tweaks can I make next time? That is how you evolve. That is how you learn from your mistakes. That is how you grow. Flexibility is freedom. When you allow yourself to adjust, to experiment, and to improve step by step, you build a lifestyle that actually stays with you, that actually lasts, which is sustainable. Remember, rigidity breaks you and flexibility saves you. So yes, maintenance is not easy. It's not about a number. It's about mastering your mind, embracing your emotions, and becoming the person you were always meant to be. If you take nothing else from this video, remember this. The real transformation is not in losing weight. It's in losing the fear. It's in losing that guilt. And it's losing that self-doubt. It's in finding freedom in your body, mind, and spirit. It's about liberating yourself. Your body will follow your identity, and your life will follow your beliefs. And you can become someone unstoppable. If this resonated, I encourage you to watch my first video, my 45 kgs transformation journey, and see the full story of how I began this life-changing path. The link is in the description. And know this, if I can do it, anyone can. But the first step is always asking yourself, who do I truly want to be? Thank you so much for your patience. I know this video has been stretched a little bit, but I really wanted to share all the lessons that I've learned throughout my journey. So thank you so much for being with me till this point. See you soon.